everyone. Welcome to the latest edition of the Progressive Leadership Alliance in Nevada's What's the Tea, a podcast where we talk about what is going on in Nevada, government, local Nevadans, and pop culture. Now we are recording from the West Las Vegas Library, a beautiful new library on MLK in the historic West Side. My name is Laura Martin, and I'm the Executive Director of Plan. Happy to be here today with our guest, Victoria, the Program Director at Silver State Voices. Welcome, Victoria.
Thank you for having me.
Vicky Secrets. How long have I known you, Victoria? A long time.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, certainly over a decade. You have literally seen me grow up.
I have. Did you see I was retiring?
Yes, I was so sad. I did get a little teary-eyed because I cannot imagine a plan where Laura is not. So I was like, oh. And then I immediately asked Hector if there were like broke Friends of Laura tickets so that I could attend the brunch.
I think we can work something out for you.
Perfect.
I was going to ask you another funny question. What was the last song you listened to?
It's a song that I cannot recall the name of that because it was on the most recent EDC official playlist. So don't ask me what it was or who it was from, but it was one of those.
Remember when we found out your secret that you were in a band?
Oh, yes. You know, all the secrets. Mm-hmm.
And what was the last thing that made you really laugh?
You right now. But I think just like remembering like little comments here and there, I tend to like think back on old conversations and then kick myself for like being awkward or something. And then I just laugh about it.
Nice. So do you want to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about Silver State Voices, and what is your most non-controversial opinion?
Oh, my most non-controversial opinion?
Most controversial, non-serious opinion.
This actually might be too controversial. I was going to say that I am team Kendrick in this Kendrick versus Drake battle. I think he's just infinitely better for so many different reasons. And yeah, all the way Kendrick.
Yes. Will you introduce yourself to our listeners? Who is Victoria?
My name is Victoria. I'm the program director at Silver State Voices, which is a civic engagement table made up of different nonpartisan organizations throughout the state of Nevada. So quick shout out to all of them, including Plan, because it is thanks to the experience and the expertise of all our partners that we're able to develop different strategies and programs to try to meet the needs of everyday Nevadans.
Perfect. You did that great. So here's where the crazy questions come in. What threats are you seeing to our democracy?
So I think that oftentimes, or more often than not, when people hear threats to our democracy, people tend to picture something quite dramatic. And in reality, what we tend to see is a lot of confusion, misinformation, and sometimes very real attempts to create fear around the voting process, which is why this year focus is actually rather simple, and that is just to make sure that every eligible voter in the state of Nevada can cast their ballot safely, freely, and with confidence, no matter what the political environment might be. And so for us, that really means prioritizing preparation. It looks like making sure that we have accurate and reliable information for voters, that we have well-trained volunteers at polling locations, and that we have strong partnerships with all of our different partners throughout the state to make sure that we are reaching out to as many voters as we can, and that no voter in Nevada feels like they're alone navigating this process. Essentially, that they have somewhere to turn to if they do have any questions or any concerns.
Mm-hmm. Now, earlier today, Secretary of Department of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, said that she would not send ICE agents to polling locations. However, she's also not known for telling the truth. So just to be on the safe side, how would SSV, which is Silver State Voices, how would you prepare people for that possibility?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very valid fear. As you named, there have been so much that's been circulating on the news. And so something I don't want to do is speculate. What I can say with certainty is that we are doing our best to prepare, right? And that means, like I said, making sure that we have all the information that voters might need about their rights. Voters in Nevada have rights, and federal law is also very clear about voter intimidation at the polls. So really our role is to make sure that voters are aware of their rights. And like I said, that they know where to turn to if they do have any questions or if they are experiencing any kind of barriers that are keeping them from the ballot box. And so we will make sure that we have trained volunteers at different polling sites who can observe and who can document and who can flag any issues as they arise to the proper legal and official channels, because again, we want to make sure that we are there to support voters at every step of the process.
And I want to also lift up Nevada. We have it pretty good. I mean, we have a really long early vote period. There are some states that don't allow you to hand out food and water. SSV is known to hand out snacks and water to keep people in those long lines, especially during the primary election, which is in June and it's super hot. So I think it's good that we're able to be safe than sorry, because the things that we fought for, like vote centers, automatic voter registration, restoration of rights, we don't want to get complacent and see those things taken away from us. So what are one of the ways that SSV helps protect democracy? Let me reread that. One of the ways SSV helps protect democracy is through your election protection program. Can you tell us, what does that entail, and can people get involved and help you out?
Yeah, so our election protection program is run in partnership with the ACLU of Nevada, All Voting is Local, and Institute for Progressive Nevada. And what we're doing is we're training poll auditors to be at the different polling locations throughout the state of Nevada. They are observing, they are documenting, they are answering any voter concerns. And as I mentioned, they are flagging any issues if they come up to the appropriate channels that we will be setting up for folks. We're also heavily promoting our election protection hotline. So again, going back to the point I made, if voters have any questions or if they are experiencing any barriers during early voting or on election day, they can call that hotline. It is available in English, Spanish, and a few other languages. So for anyone watching us, I'm sure that we'll have those numbers readily available to you, but that is something that folks can do. And so all the poll monitors that are stationed throughout Nevada, they are observing for things like long lines, language access issues, voter ID issues, really any kind of issue that might be preventing someone from, like I said, casting their ballots safely and freely. And so folks are more than welcome to join those efforts. We definitely do need as many poll monitors as we can get to ensure coverage throughout the different sites in Nevada. And folks can actually visit our Instagram page at Silver State Voices. In our bio, we do have a link to the volunteer sign-up form. And so folks are required to take a training with us to ensure that they know how to accurately observe and how to report anything that might be going on. But it is quite simple. And so folks are more than welcome to do that.
What kind of people are you looking to help you out? Like, do you need to be buff?
Yeah.
Do you need to be a good runner?
So you don't need to have any extraordinary qualities or skills. You don't have to be a legal expert, and you actually don't even need to have any prior volunteer experience. We really just welcome anyone who's interested in essentially making sure that our neighbors can cast their ballots. And so, like I said, folks will be going through an onboarding session. We will be training you on how to do the observation, how to flag any issues that might come up. And so if you're someone who maybe isn't always comfortable doing things on your own, we certainly also welcome friends and family. This can be certainly a family affair. Nothing better than making sure that people in our neighborhoods can vote safely and securely.
Yes, period. So walk us through what a shift in election protection looks like. Like, are we getting up and helping count the ballots, or what are we doing?
Yeah, no, we are certainly not counting the ballots. But what we will be doing, as you kind of touched on this earlier, but we will be making sure that voters are comfortable in line. So that might look like handing out water, handing out snacks. We know, especially around primary season, we know Vegas, it can get really, really hot. Maybe not as much up in Reno, but you never really know with the way that temperatures have been looking for us. And so a lot of it is just making sure that voters are comfortable and that they're staying in line, that voters were there to just drop off their ballot at a ballot box, that they know how to do that. And then similarly for any volunteers who are stationed inside of the voting site, they're mainly observing, documenting, and then flagging any issues up to our command center so that we are able to address any issues, whether it requires us connecting with the appropriate county officials or whether it's looping in some of our legal resources. Again, we really are making sure that our poll monitors are there to observe as much as possible and to flag any issues as they are happening.
And we're going to flash the link so people can sign up for it, because I think I saw a sign that said the election's in like 98 days or something like that.
Yeah, the elections are fast approaching. Time definitely moves by quickly. So yes, folks can sign up through the Instagram at Silver State Voices. We do have the link there. And if you sign up, you also have the opportunity to sign up for our democracy newsletter. So if you want to continue to stay up to date on any developments here locally or any news, or again, just other volunteer opportunities with some of our partner organizations, that is a great resource as well for folks.
Okay. In addition to election protections, what are some other ways that SSV is ensuring we count every vote?
Yeah, so election protection is certainly just one piece of the puzzle. Our work is year-round, and so something that we also do is invest heavily into voter education. That is making sure that voters have all the accurate information they need around key deadlines, their different methods to register to vote or to vote. And like I said, that if they know where to turn if they do have any issues. We also heavily support other partner organizations with their Get Out the Vote efforts. So again, this looks like also providing them with resources, with tools, with coordination. Our partners are really the best messengers within our communities. And so we are working in just very coordinated effort to make sure that any voter turnout efforts are really grounded in the most up-to-date voting guidance. And then to top it all off, during legislative session years, we're also collaborating to advance different voting rights laws because we want to make sure that we have strong laws in the books that really strengthen access and protect voters. And that is because we know that protecting the vote is not just about Election Day and what we do on Election Day, but it's also about making sure that our voters are informed and that we have strong laws in our books as well.
Yeah, like I said, in Nevada, we have it pretty good. We can give water to people in line. We have vote centers, so you can vote basically in the county where you're registered to vote. You don't have to go to, the elementary school and look at a crazy map. We have automatic restoration of rights. So if you are formerly incarcerated, if you are not physically incarcerated anymore, you are eligible to vote. And if it's Election Day and you're not registered, you're in luck because you can register and vote on the same day, but bring some residency verification with you. So I would like to know, this is not a question we have written down, but I would like to know, so you have legislative session, you have the elections. Which would you say is like more of SSV's Super Bowl?
Oh, I don't know. I would say both, honestly, although we do run a very large and highly complex and coordinated election protection effort because it is important that we have different organizations at the table. Like I said, we are a civic engagement table at the end of the day. And so that really looks like drawing on the expertise and the insights from our partner organizations who have many more boots on the ground, many more years out in the community to make sure that we are drawing on all of that to really create the type of programming or coordinated efforts or strategies in general to be able to advance the different policies that we work on or to run a smooth program. When it comes to elections, for the most part, they do run very smoothly, but having this program does allow us to make sure that any small problems, no matter how small, don't end up becoming much bigger down the line. And so I don't know, it's hard to say. There's also just so much work to be done both during election time and during legislative session, especially considering that we also have a very short session and it's every other year. So I think it's also very much an intense time for all of us.
Very intense, that's for sure. So I want to read off some of these hotlines. I think we'll put them up too. So if you're listening now in English, if you need, I would just write this down. Hotline for early voting and Election Day. If you need support, 866-OUR-VOTE, which is 866-687-8683. In Spanish, 888-VEYVOTA, which is 888-839-8682. Asian languages are 888-API-VOTE, which is 88274-8683. In Arabic, which is 844-YALA-US, 844-925-5287. So I think you mentioned you all have social media. Is there any other way? Well, first off, what's your social media? And then any other way that we can find out more about SSV?
Yes, Silver State Voices. We are currently working on a landing page, so I cannot share that just yet because it's still very much in progress. So I think the best method would be to sign up via the link that I mentioned is linked in our bio, and that's a great opportunity for us to be able to reach out to you if you do want to become a volunteer. You can also just follow us. We do tend to regularly post any updates when it comes to election time, as well as legislative session. And we have lots of other fun things to share with voters and with folks in Nevada. So I would say certainly start there.
Okay. Do you have any election predictions?
No, I do not.
What do you think the turnout will be?
So many people.
Do you think because I think we get to like 80% turnout maybe?
I mean, I feel like it's a little bit of a mixed bag. I think that, like I mentioned, there can be a lot of misinformation and there's been very real attempts to create a lot of fear around the process. So I do think that certainly we are seeing many people who are thinking twice about it. At the same time, though, there's a lot of people who are very much motivated to vote. They're excited to do it. And I think that, very thanks to all the efforts from not just organizations like SSV and the other organizations like ACLU, All Voting is Local, IPN, but even organizations like Plan and many of our other partners, you all do an excellent job at hosting so many different types of voter education events, community building events, trainings, workshops. And so I think that really gives people the opportunity not only to feel in community, but to be able to get their information from reliable and credible sources, and to be able to do what it is that might make them happy, and is certainly to cast their ballot this year as well. So I think we'll be okay. People will be out there, and we will be out there as well, making sure that people can vote and are protected. So look out for us.
Would it be fair to instruct people, like maybe anybody listening right now, let's say they have a church or youth group and they want people to come out and register voters, can they message you on social media?
Yeah, we love to support any kind of civic engagement activities on the ground. So if you are a member of any kind of network and you would like to register others to vote, please let us know. We will definitely facilitate that process for you. Or similarly, if you want to be part of the poll monitors and help make sure that our neighbors can vote, we would definitely love to plug you in. We will have different opportunities throughout early voting and an election day, both for the primary and the general election. And also, if volunteering is just not feasible for you, I think that oftentimes democracy, or protecting democracy specifically, can start by doing simple things like sharing key election dates and combating misinformation within our local networks as well. So I also like to plug in that you don't have to, or you shouldn't feel bad if you cannot come out to any of these events, or if you cannot be a poll monitor. There are many things that we can do within our networks. There are many things that we can do on social media. So I think anything that you can do to ensure that voters have the resources that they need, the information they need to vote, that's all very much part of protecting democracy.
Mm-hmm. You can also donate to SSV.
And you can definitely donate to make sure that we continue to run programs such as this and that they continue to grow. That also definitely helps.
Definitely helps. And we will not throw a pie in your face. We'll just donate. Okay, so my last question is the most important. Who is your favorite SSV partner?
You, of course.
Yes.
Plan all the way. And if you're a partner, you did not hear that.
Well, thank you, Victoria, for being with us and taking the time. I know you all are very busy because there is a lot of preparation to go into your programs. It is very complicated. I mean, it's the whole state. So I appreciate you taking the time. We will put up SSV social media accounts, but you can also follow us on PLANEVADA. I think that's on all of our socials, Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever. I'm not gonna, I feel like that is the only thing I did name is Twitter. And keep a lookout for our next episode of What's the Tea? Thank you.
Thank you.
We forgot to just take a picture for